And with tomorrow being such a crucial time for black voters, we wanted to bring in our expert pollster.
And he is the one and only John Couvillon with JMC Analytics. He joins us now from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. John, good to see you again. And I'll start you off with this. Mini Super Tuesday, Michigan, the big delegate cache with 125 delegates. Bernie Sanders shocked Hillary Clinton there in 2016. But what are the chances he'll do the same to Joe Biden tomorrow?
Minimal, for the simple reason that when I analyzed where Sanders and Clinton did well in the 2016 Michigan primary, what happened was that Hillary Clinton carried 10 counties, half of which were in the Detroit metro area and had a large African-American population. So in my opinion, there's a considerable amount of overlap between the Clinton constituency of 4 years ago and the Biden constituency of today, number one. And number two, when I look at the rest of the state, which largely voted for Bernie Sanders, I'm not convinced that Sanders can carry those same counties again. So in other words, the question then becomes, where can Bernie Sanders get his votes to win? And I truthfully don't see any such place in the state of Michigan.
Now, John, when you take a look at the overall picture, do you see just another repeat of 2016 if Bernie Sanders supporters aren't treated with a little more respect than they were back then?
Well, I think the challenge is that assuming that Biden wins big tomorrow night, which I think will be the case, the question then becomes what to do with Bernie Sanders. In other words, I don't think it's likely that he's going to withdraw tomorrow night if he has a dismal showing, but there's going to be considerable diplomacy skills that will be required to let him know that he does not have the path to the nomination, but at the same time respect his views.
Now, John, let me ask you this. Are we looking at another Super Tuesday in that we had that big moment in Texas for Biden where he got the support of a couple of presidential candidates, also Beto. Beto was a candidate at one point in time. But could we see that same thing again tomorrow with Cory Booker coming out, also Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer throwing their support behind Biden?
I believe so. And the thing that I think also helps Joe Biden in tomorrow night's contest is you have to realize that in two of the states that Bernie Sanders carried 4 years ago that have contests tomorrow night, they were caucuses 4 years ago and primaries this time, which I think helps helps Sanders. So I realistically can only see Sanders doing strongly in one state, which is still a caucus state, and that is North Dakota. But I see Mississippi as an 100% chance for Biden to win. Missouri is going to be close to 100%. Michigan's not far behind. So assuming that Biden starts off the night strong with those three contests, and he probably will carry Washington like Hillary Clinton did when had a primary, you're not giving much room for Sanders to make any progress. So that's kind of how I see tomorrow night going. And also, too, Washington has a similarity to California in that it has a strong mail-in vote. So they're, again, going to take some time to count the vote, just like California is right now.
Are you seeing black voters and the numbers in black voters? Do you see that they're better this year or than it was in 2016, or are things worse in the black community?
I would say there's some increased enthusiasm, but I think the real proof in the pudding, so to speak, is going to be what you start seeing when early voting for the fall elections starts late in September in places like Georgia and Louisiana and so forth. But I would say that there is heightened enthusiasm in the African-American community from what I've seen thus far.
All right, he is John Couvillon, pollster extraordinaire. Never seen him wrong. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you tomorrow, John.